Are Man City now out of the title race? Why is no one criticising Aston Villa? And is a manager going to get sacked this weekend? Welcome to Week 14 predictions in the Premier League. Afternoon everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to week 14 in the Premier League. And I'd probably say the marquee fixture is going to be the Arsenal versus Manchester United one. So get your score predictions on that in the comments down below. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here to the Footy Network. And a quick reminder that all Premier League fixtures midweek this week will be on Amazon Prime. And fear not, if you want to watch them completely for free, you just need to scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. That will give you a 3-month trial on Amazon Prime. If you've already used the 3-month trial before, use a different email address and it works absolutely fine. So scan the QR code or click on the link and let's jump into the first game. Portman Road is our first point of call in the East Anglia region, as Ipswich Town will take on Crystal Palace. Ipswich are fresh from their defeat against the best team in the Premier League and will need to bounce back quickly, even though prior to their loss to Forest, they were undefeated in 3. But with themselves just outside the relegation zone and Palace battling in the relegation fight as well, this is definitely a 6-pointer. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, were extremely unlucky not to beat Newcastle in my opinion, creating chance after chance after chance and just couldn't get it over the line. This is definitely going to be an interesting match and one that I can see being quite entertaining, but one that I think will go to the away team. And I think Palace are just going to start to click and get into their groove. So I'm going for an away win here. I'm going Ipswich Town 1, Crystal Palace 2. What do you guys think? The King Power Stadium will host the second match this midweek, as Leicester will host West Ham indefinitely. What is another 6-pointer, because both these teams are seriously at the wrong end of the table. Are West Ham in for a rude awakening, as Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge of Leicester for the first time, and he can't be happy with what he saw from them when they got tonked by Brentford at the weekend. He has a real job on his hands. But at the same time, West Ham under Lopetegui took an absolute slapping from Arsenal at the weekend. It could have been 7 or 8 in the first half alone. Yes, they did come back with 2 goals, but did anyone really expect them to get back into that game? This one just, I don't know which way to call it. It's the battle of who's going to be less bad, if that's such a phrase. So instead of figuring that equation out, which I think is an endless infinite loop, I'm just going to sit on the fence and call this as a draw. So I'm going Leicester City 1, West Ham United 1. What do you guys think? Who is worse out of these two teams? Let me know. St Mary's Stadium is game number 3 for us this midweek, as Southampton will host Chelsea in the Premier League. And Southampton are coming off the back of a decent point against Brighton, with down scoring their 1 goal in that match, giving them a point against Brighton. Surely Southampton fans, you have to be feeling a little bit better. But that good feeling can't last for long, because Chelsea are coming into town. And under Maresca, they have been absolutely flying and playing good football, as I predicted for you lot before the season started. Cole Palmer got himself back on the score sheet, scoring a lovely goal, and they definitely are starting to tick right now. Are they in a title race though, is the question that's being asked. I think not really for me, but I do think they finished second, because it feels like Liverpool is starting to run away with the league right now. But back to this match. I see it being a high-scoring match. Southampton play a nice style of football, and an aggressive one, and a possession-based one, but just don't have the players to do it, apart from Dibbling, who's absolutely fantastic. So I think there will be a lot of goals in this and a lot of entertainment. So I'm going to go Southampton 2, Chelsea 3. High-scoring game, Could be a good one to watch on Amazon Prime. Make sure you've scanned that QR code. The Etihad Stadium up in Manchester will host the next game, and that's between Man City and Forest. And this is an interesting clash. 5th versus 6th in the league. Highest goal scorer versus 3rd highest goal scorer. Who is the better striker here? Is it Haaland, who has dried up recently? Or is it Chris Wood, who doesn't seem to be able to stop scoring goals, getting the winner for Forest against Ipswich at the weekend from the penalty spot that nearly ripped through the back of the net? But what is going on with Man City right now? How are they this bad? How have they lost 6 in a row? Even Pep found himself being bantered by the Liverpool fans, and he actually reacted, which tells me that he is rattled right now. This is very, very important to Man City, because with that loss against Liverpool, I feel they're now out of the title race. Will they be crestfallen, or can they dust themselves off and get themselves back together to look like a team that we've known them to be in recent years? Or will Forest, fantastic, solid defence, be able to hold out at the Etihad and catch Manchester City on the counter-attack and get a first win at Al Etihad since they've been promoted back to the Premier League? I think it's going to be a draw. I don't think Manchester City get their win, but I don't think Forest will have enough to beat them. Hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going Man City 1, Forest 1. What do you guys think? St James's Park is our next point of call up in the northeast in Newcastle, as the Geordies Newcastle will host Liverpool. Liverpool in sensational form right now, having just beaten Man City by 2-0 and putting themselves firmly in the driving seat in this title race. And Newcastle, for me, are turning a little Spursy. It feels that Eddie Howe just doesn't know how to get a consistent tune out of the players he has available to him. Beating Arsenal, then losing to West Ham, beating Forest very surprisingly, and then drawing with Crystal Palace. It is definitely a little Spursy from Newcastle right now. And with Mo Salah's contract talk still not sorted out, is this the biggest headache Liverpool have right now? Or will they meet a headache on the pitch at St James's Park? And you know what? I got a feeling that Newcastle are going to pull the upset of the midweek. And I think Newcastle will get the win here. I'm going to back the Geordies. I'm going to say Newcastle win this 2-1. Can you see it happening? Or are Liverpool too good? Someone's got to beat them soon. Surely Forest can't be the only team that ends up beating them this year. What do you guys think? Goodison Park is the venue for our next game, as Everton will host Wolves. And this is not only a 6-pointer for me, but this could be an El Sakiko, because both managers are hugely under pressure. And I think Dyche needs this win more than Gary O'Neill, because the fixtures Everton have coming up are literally very tasty, to say the least. But Wolves are under huge pressure. Yes, they got the win the other week, but another defeat after conceding 3 penalties. And I think the first time in Premier League history, Kluivert scored a hat-trick of penalties. Unbelievable. All thanks to Sarr, who just seemed to be hacking players down left, right and centre. So this game is huge. It's huge. And I don't know which way it goes. I think it's going to be a draw. But is a draw going to be enough to save either manager, or could a draw sack either manager? Let me know in the comments down below. Who do you think will get sacked first this season? Will it be Dyche, or will it be that PE teacher Gary O'Neill? But in terms of the scoreline, I'm going to go for Everton 1, Wolves 1. I don't see it being an exciting game after. This is a game where the managers will be fighting for their lives, which means they'll both probably try and be a little defensive. Get your thoughts in. The Emirates Stadium will see our next match, as Arsenal will host Manchester United. And in yesteryears, this was one of those clashes that would have been huge at the top end of the table. But Manchester United still seem to be struggling, which I'm enjoying. Now, Arsenal, on the other hand, have clicked into the gear again. And I have to say, it's down to one man. And no, that man is not Arteta. It's Odegaard. Odegaard coming back in, providing a lot of creativity for me in their midfield and linking up beautifully, you have to say, with Saka down that right-hand channel. And that definitely has been a catalyst for change. Manchester United, on the other hand, are basically declaring themselves back because they beat Everton by 4-0. And they think with Amorim, they've got the next coming, the next Pep. We've heard this all before, United fans. We've heard it with Ten Hag. We heard it with Solskjaer. Just the list needs to go on. Anyway, on this game, I think this will be a reality check for Manchester United. A reminder that they should not feel so entitled all the time in their fan base. And I think Arsenal are going to slap them around. I'm going to go for a comfortable home win in this. I'm going to go Arsenal 3, Manchester United 0. What do you guys think? Villa Park will host our next match as Aston Villa will take on Brentford in this midweek fixture. And I've got to say, why is no one talking about Emre? And don't give me the excuse of they're doing it in the Champions League, because Villa are 1 win in 8. And worse than that, 0 wins in the last 5. This is getting embarrassing, Villa fans. What's happened to some of you were talking about a title race? Some of you were talking about Champions League again this season. Is that still in the equation? Or are Villa just well and truly spent? Have they spread themselves too thin? And does Emery need some criticism? Because I'm not seeing any of it anywhere. That is a sackable set of results. But yes, he is cutting it in the Champions League. He's turned Villa around, so I understand there is credit in the bank. But someone, somewhere, needs to start critiquing what he is doing. On the other hand, Brentford are coming off a win against Leicester City, ticking along quite nicely in the Premier League on about 20 points, I believe. And seem to be doing at home, but struggling away from home. I think at home, they average over 3 goals a game. So, how does this one go? This is out of necessity. Villa need to find a way to win this one. I don't know if they've got it in them or not. I don't know if they can or not. But I will just back them for the home win here. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Brentford 1. But I don't have enough faith in what Emery's doing in the Premier League to say it with any chest. The question is, do the Villa fans have? Craven Cottage will host the next game in this midweek's fixtures as Fulham will take on Brighton. Both teams coming off a draw in their previous matches, but under very different circumstances. You think Fulham will be more pleased than Brighton were, as Fulham drew late with Spurs, having had a man sent off as well, putting in a pretty decent performance, and Spurs probably scoring against the run of play there. Brighton, on the other hand, who at one stage were second in the league after they drew with Southampton, have to be kicking themselves for dropping 2 points against them. Are the wheels going to fall off Brighton, or will they continue under their young manager to impress so much this season? I like Fulham, and I think Fulham are doing a great job, and I think their manager is fantastic, and I think Fulham will beat Brighton this midweek. So I'm going to back the home team here. I'm going to go Fulham 3, Brighton 1. I can see a few goals in this one, but I can see a comfortable home win. What do you guys think? The Vitality Stadium down on the South Coast will host the final match of these midweek fixtures on Thursday, and that is Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspurs. And Bournemouth, well, they've got to be happy with what they did against Wolves, with Kluivert claiming the match ball because he put the ball in from 12 yards 3 times. But it is Spurs that are really up and down at the moment. I don't know what to make of them anymore. I really don't. And with another, sorry tale, the violins came out about the injuries with his centre-backs. Well, you should have done better recruitment in the summer then, Ange. And Bournemouth under Iriola are really, really impressing. Not as consistent as some would have probably liked from a perspective of a Bournemouth fan, but definitely, maybe, with a little shout of a European place this season, who knows? I think this is going to be an entertaining game. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this one. But I think Spurs will do the Spursy thing and win this game, even though some might think they're going to lose it because they're Spurs. And Spurs are just an enigma. They really are an enigma at the moment. So I'm going to go high scoring here. I'm going Bournemouth 2, Spurs 4. This could be one of the most entertaining matches of this midweek. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's your 10 games all discussed there for you. Get your predictions in the comments down below. And don't forget, you can watch all these games for completely free on Amazon Prime. All you need to do is sign up by clicking this QR code, scanning this QR code, or clicking on the link that's pinned in the comments. Go do that now for your 30-day free trial. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the Footy Network if you are new. And we'll see you in the second half of this week as there are more fixtures coming up this weekend. So good luck to whichever team you support. I hope you get the results you want. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.